1985 S10 Blazer frame modifications for installing the LS engine. When I traded a two-door 1981 Malibu for this 85 S10 Blazer, the previous owner had intended on installing a 5.3 LS engine. So he had modified the front cross member and modified the the passenger side frame rail so that he could run the AC in the factory low position on the passenger side. Keep in mind, I've moved, or I'm planning, I don't want to say I'm going to, but I'm working towards moving the engine 2¼ inches forward. I don't know that low mount alternator location would still be a viable option with the modifications with the LSX Innovation block adapter plates that, you know, is going to take a little bit of engineering to get the low mount alternator bracket bolted to the block. But I don't know if moving the engine forward that far negated the work that he had done. But I just wanted to show you where he had cut out a section and then boxed in for that air conditioner mount. Now to the issue we're having, see if I can get this, sorry about that, see if I can get this camera to show you as straight up as I can. The problem I'm having is with this front cross member. Excuse me. I don't know for sure what he was thinking or what he was using as a point of reference when he measured for his notch or cross member modification to clear the oil pan. Because if you look, if now that I mention it, I guarantee you're going to see it. He didn't section out that cross member equally from side to side. I don't know if that's a common procedure or I don't know. It's very strange because when you have the engine sitting on the engine mounts, the oil pan almost hits the passenger side of where he sectioned out the cross member. You know, I mean, I haven't measured it, but just visually, I'm saying 1/8 of an inch maybe between the side of the oil pan and that boxed in area. The driver's side's perfectly fine. I mean, it has more than 1 inch, probably 1¼ inch clearance between that, you know, plated area and the driver's side of the oil pan. Well, I'm running that truck oil pan, and it literally, I'm afraid. Like, I do not want to try to run that with that pan that close to that little plated section because all engines move. Like, you know what I mean? All engines move side to side. They pivot or move on the rubber mounts. Now, if you had solid mounts, you might be able to get away with it, but I'm just not comfortable with having that oil pan that close to that frame because in my mind, when I back up, because I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think, because when you're going forward, it tries to lift the driver's side, so generally you chain that side down when you're racing, but when you're like moving backwards, that's when I believe you're going to run into a problem where that pan could be forced into that frame. I don't want to take the chance on it rubbing a hole through that aluminum or, for God forbid, cracking it or fatiguing it in any way. So the plan is to go in here, section out some more of that front cross member to get my side-to-side clearance away from that oil pan. The amount that he removed when he sectioned it is working perfectly with the truck oil pan in the 2¼ forward position. So I don't know if the mounts he was using could be the same, or, you know, I mean, was he moving it that far forward? I don't know. And I'm not friends with him. I don't know where he's at. I don't know how to ask him. Excuse me, fighting my yearly cold that comes on about this time of the year that every doctor thinks is allergies. But I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up on where I was at with this cross member not giving me the clearance on the passenger side that I need. My intent to go in there, section some more of that out, plate it in, box it in. I'm going to have to grind down and redo some of his, pardon my expression, some of his booger welds that he used when he put that plated section in, because I don't know if he was using a real welder or maybe a really crappy welder, or he had his settings off or something. But the welds on that boxed in area of the cross member look pretty bad. He's not even filled in all the holes to make it a solid weld. I mean, I don't know for sure why you would weld it the way he did and not even finish weld all the, I don't know. But I'll fix it. I'll make sure it's 100% structurally sound. I want to make sure I get all the holes filled in and make it at least, you know, look better. So once I get that done, we're going to try to stab that stupid engine transmission in here again, check my cross member, because I meant to measure last night and I ran out of time and it was too dark. I wanted to measure the spacing on the bolts for that transmission cross member, because as long as, now let me make sure I'm explaining this correctly. As long as the spacing in between those bolt holes are 3 inches or slightly less, then I should be able to use my current drive shaft with the T5. Because keep in mind, when you change from a Turbo 350 to a T5, generally, if that was the only change or alteration you're making, all you have to do is move your cross member back and you put your front mounting holes lined up with the rear mounting holes, bolt them, and add 2 new holes. In turn, you would normally shorten your drive shaft the same amount. Here's my problem. When Midland made my drive shaft, I am pretty sure they made it a little too short. So, and I'm not going to blame it all on them, because maybe I mismeasured, even though I measured like, I don't know, 20 times to the areas that they told me to measure. But long story short, I've always felt like that drive shaft could have been a little longer. So let's just say that drive shaft could have been another 1/2 inch to up to a 3/4 inch longer. Now add that, what I wished was longer drive shaft, with moving the engine forward 2 1/4 inches from the factory location. I have a potential of accounting for that 3-inch difference. Like, if we're going to use 3 inches as the difference in the cross member location and the drive shaft length between the Turbo 350 and the T5, in theory, move the engine forward 2 1/4. The drive shaft we wish was a little, I'm just hoping that it'll work. If not, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. That's fine. I apologize, this video is getting a little bit dark because the sun is going down, it's hitting the horizon, and it's making it a little bit harder to see. But I like the way things are laying out so far. It's giving me a little bit of battle, but nothing that we can't work through. And I can't wait to get it in there and start working on the fuel system, get all the wiring done up, and try to clean up the engine bay a little bit, because it's looking a little bit haggard. It's not very clean anymore. So anyway, I just wanted to put up some kind of a video showing what we're seeing, what we're doing, what we're hoping to be able to do, and what in reality ends up happening. So, because all plans, no matter how best laid out a plan is for doing a project, guaranteed things are going to change, and it usually costs twice as much as you think it was going to cost. So make a budget and then double it, and that's probably about where you're going to end up at. So I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Again, I think I've mentioned in my last video I posted, I have to go somewhere else to get Wi-Fi to upload my videos until we get moved. So I apologize, that's a huge pain in my neck. And when you don't have the super fast Wi-Fi like we had at my house, it takes forever to upload a video. You know, apparently I was spoiled with having that super 5 times whatever U-verse internet that we had, because I previously I could upload a 15-minute video in under 20 minutes. You know, I mean, it didn't take any time at all. And now when I go hook up to the free Wi-Fi at Lowe's or somewhere like that, a 5-minute video might take 30 minutes to upload. So anyway, I'll work through it. Everything will work itself out. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more information on getting this 5.3 with the T5 shoved into this little S10 Blazer, and we will cover all the hurdles and pitfalls as we go together. Thank you guys for watching.